Hello, everybody. Welcome to Alien Addict. We should sack the producer if he wasn't the original channel beginner. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about the Alien interview, which I'm sure all of you have seen. It's been around since is it 2007, 2017, something like that. I know there's a 7 in it. Without further ado, Oliver, Stuart, how are you doing, my friends?
Good evening. I'm good. I'm alive.
1997.
1997 was it? I thought
Yeah.
2000s. Wow, God, it's so that. See, this is the crazy thing to me. First of all, I think hopefully, John Stewart, who was on the Redacted podcast, which some of you might have seen, is in the chat, or he was in the chat before. He tried to join the stream, but his
We did briefly speak to him.
yeah,
Yeah, he's in the chat just now. He's
Yeah.
put May of 1997.
amazing. So sorry about that. Well, I remember seeing that like years and years and years ago. I don't know if it was back in the 90s, but it would have been. It's certainly been the early mid to like beginning 2000s when I saw it. Now, I suppose the big question is like, why is this popped up? And the second question I've got for this is it time we started looking back at older like UFO and alien proof that has been either debunked or forgotten with new eyes? Because I think for me, and I've no idea whether what that is in the video is real. I always thought it was a puppet, you know, when I saw it years ago. But now, with the idea that this has been shown to senators and stuff like that as part of this UFO disclosure, whatever it is that's going on, it does make you think that if something gets out onto the internet, you can't simply just delete it off the internet. Beyonce found that out with that horrible photograph of her, didn't she? Which she tried to get wiped from the face of the planet, and that didn't work. So maybe the thing you do is just be quiet about it.
It was given to bird shit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Bichette.
for shit.
I always
Boy.
like try to be careful when I say his name in case I pronounce it wrong. It does sound like everybody says bird shit when they do pronounce his name, though. But it is Bichette.
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you, Lee. Like when I first watched that, and I think you're confusing it when it got re-released on YouTube.
That's probably what I'm thinking.
Originally, it was VHS.
Mhm.
It might have even been a CD in '97. Possibly, yeah. It'll have been on CD. What's that, Lee?
Oh, it popped up because I worked my arse off getting myself on podcast after a 5-year investigation was done. I'd like to know, like, what was it that you made you put so much time into it? I'm not being disparaging by that. What was it that hooked you so much to start like this is what I'm going to invest so much time and energy into?
We'll wait for the answer.
Yeah. So, like you, Lee, I looked at that, and I never watched the DVD. I saw when it was it came out on the platform. I can't remember what platform it came out on. So I watched it later on in life.
I think I'd have been the same. I think it would have been those early sort of Wild West days of YouTube where
Yeah,
like,
I think it was around
everything
about
was on it.
2008, 2009. I saw it originally, and it was in really low res condition.
It's weird that I didn't know about it though, because I always keep this to hand. But when I was 15 years old, I bought this, and I'm just surprised I didn't know about that before, because I don't think I knew about it in '97. Maybe it's because we're in the UK. Maybe it wasn't made in such a big deal in the UK.
it was the start of COVID when I finally had some free time. Didn't all of us have free time to start doing stuff? What a horrible period. Because this video bothered me since 1997, especially with Victor's entire testimony. I'm easy way either way when it comes to this video. I was watching it this afternoon. I do think there's some interesting things in it. I mean, the people always bring up the fact it's all dark and stuff like that. Is like what you would do something in the dark, but if you were trying to get away with stuff, and then there's that part of me which thinks, well, the old big black eyes suggest that these things probably wherever they're coming from come from somewhere that's particularly dark. You know, is it like the idea that they might not be like super sensitive to the light is it's probably a pretty good guess, isn't it?
Or they are sensitive to light.
Sorry,
so
they are sensitive, yeah. But there's little parts of it, like I know I saw a video on TikTok where someone had messed around with the contrast and brightness and stuff like that and pulled the image up more, and you could see things better in it. I can't find that video again.
I tried that today.
I tried it as well and couldn't get anything out of it.
I couldn't, Stu. I couldn't get anything at all. I'm glad you've said that, because I thought
maybe it was someone doing some fuckery on TikTok. But excuse me. Either way, what you can notice from this video is when it's in distress and they bring the torch in, you can see like for moments of the frame where there's like an entire frame to this thing.
Yeah, that's the bit that I tried to enhance. When that torch comes in, I tried to see if I could see any of the body underneath. What gets me with it, though, I mean, I do think its movements do look a little puppety, let's just say. I think anybody looking at that, whether you believe it or not, you can't say that the movement's a little bit odd. But I don't know. But like you said to me today, Lee, what does an alien move like?
Yeah, I mean, it just by definition, it would move alien to us.
To which I go on, Stu.
I was just going to say, like, it's, if you can imagine, like, somebody with Parkinson's or somebody who's disabled or anything like that, they're going to move differently from the norm. You just don't know if this.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, like if this alien, obviously, like, let's play devil's advocate and say it's real. It's out of its normal environment. The probably not breathing the correct air. It's probably in distress anyway. So it could well be that it's got its own version of muscle atrophy and it just isn't moving the way it should do. Or you could play it the other way and say it's a fucking puppet. So it's hard to say. Whereas somebody's actually, Skinny Bob's very interesting. I think he's put up, which just literally was about to raise that point as well. Like I will, die on my sword to say Skinny Bob's real, because of the way it interacts, even more so than this one. But this one I'm not so sure about. But it's really on the fence. It's in the uncanny valley. You don't know whether it could be real or it might not be real. I mean, supposedly, like, Colin Powell was in that room when the alien was getting interviewed and stuff like that. I mean, if there's an extra bit of video that suddenly shows a clip of him, then that really sort of makes it more real. But I don't think there'll be anything like that available.
I mean, everybody tries to debunk it, but other than saying it looks like a puppet, you can't. There isn't much to go on, and debunkers go on evidence, which they don't have any evidence for the debunk other than the movement of this thing.
Do we know who debunked it?
There's loads of people that have tried to debunk it,
right?
But I think it's never. There's no like. To me, a debunk is
Done.
when there's something like there was fucking strings over him or something like that, or it's the you bring the someone comes forward with evidence that they faked it, something like that, then you can say, right, well, that's gone. But nowadays, I find debunking just tends to be the like the whole illusion of knowledge thing, where because somebody listens to somebody that they think is intelligent, they think by agreeing with that person, that makes them as intelligent as the person they think they're talking about. That's why I think what's his name? Tony Hawk's pro skater guy.
Oh, Mick.
Yeah, that's why I think Mick West has such a following, is because
West knows
he's
best.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's a fucking video game maker. What's he know about flare footage? But the thing is, because has this. I mean, he's clearly a very smart guy. But because he has that feeling attached to him, that means people agreeing with him, they feel
Yeah,
as intelligent as
there's
he
a name
does.
for it. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, is that it? I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah, it's basically when you smarter than you actually are.
Yeah.
To kind of put it politely. So
I'm a victim. I am 100% a victim of that. Then
I think we all can be a victim of it sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
What?
unique to.
One thing that is for sure with that thing, I mean, if you and this is going from a human aspect, you look at the eyes, they never blink. There's movement in them, but they don't blink. So one thing that we were saying about, everybody said about Skinny Bob when they were just absolutely fascinated with that piece of footage, is that the eyes blinked. There was blinks, there was wrinkles around the blinks. You could see the underneath. This thing doesn't move its eyes whatsoever.
Not only does it like Skinny Bob blink, but the blinks are at a different pace each time. You sometimes got a slower blink, sometimes got a faster blink, depending on what it was doing. Whereas with this one, there's no blinks at all. I mean, I do lean more towards this being some kind of staged puppet thing than it being real, but who the hell knows? I mean, if John's done 5 years worth of research on it, he's going to know more than us three, but it's really hard to say,
Yeah, and John, if you do get in a spot where you've got a little bit more signal, by all means, click on that link again and come on. It'd be nice to ask you some questions. Either that or we can arrange another show after this one. A lot of people think when we do shows like this that we're here just to shit all over something, and Alien Addict's not about debunking. And I know we've done that stuff in the past, and we will do some of that stuff, but it's about asking the question, because we're in this. People forget that if you're in the world of ufology, UFOs, aliens, and all that jazz, you're in it for a reason. You're in it because you had that intrigue. So if there's something that's that cannot 100% be debunked, then we'll ask the questions on it, which is exactly why we did the
MH370.
That's the one. I couldn't think of the number. Yeah. But the eye's not blinking with this thing is you're looking at that as a human aspect. Like, why is that not? Why are them eyes not blinking? A lot of people have said when they discuss the alien grey that it's a machine, that it's actually not human, which actually would explain a puppet-like mechanical movement to it, but then it wouldn't explain why it would be having respiratory issues if it was a machine.
It depends whether it's a biological.
I'm just going to say that,
entity in terms of not necessarily a cyborg or a robot, but made of natural components or biological components.
Right.
That you could then say, yeah, I mean, if these people are advanced enough to jump dimensions or get across the the known universe, then they're probably smart enough to make avatars to send out, because it's a bit like us now. I mean, we don't put fighter pilots up in the air as much as we put drones up in the air. And the next generation of, sixth generation fighter jets are all going to be probably partially artificial intelligence controlled, and more likely just flown from some base in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that these things, because the other thing is they could be grown on their crafts or whatever for getting here if they have to travel long distances, and they're not just like jumping through like a Einstein Rosenberg bridge or wormhole or whatever you want to call it, and jumping from sort of point to point. But it's difficult to say, but that could explain the puppet aspect of it. But it's one of these things. I definitely put a pin in this one and say, don't discount this for the reasons you want to. Keep your mind open to it.
John put up in the comments just before that it was Congressman Tim Burchett that was shown this video. I remember as soon as I read it there, I remember reading the thing. I think it was him that was quite distressed after watching it, because I take it if this was presented to him, he might have been given extra information that we haven't got. But apparently he was quite distressed by it and said like the American public isn't ready for this knowledge.
Because we're apparently getting one next month. People think we're going to get another one next month.
I think we'll have to, really.
What, another hearing?
Yeah.
Are they not in summer recess at the moment? So it would be late September. Yeah, which is next month, of course. But I don't know. I mean, there's supposedly 2 whistleblowers on the sidelines waiting to come forward. I don't know how much stock you put into that, but
I want a whistleblower to come forward and talk about actual, what they are. If we're right about it being looking like an alien grey.
We want receipts. We want to know where the bodies are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get told the truth. I know I constantly say on this show that I just don't believe that things are coming from like hundreds of light years away to get to us. I think the grey things are real things, but whether it's interdimensional, like whether it's something closer to a biblical demon, even, I can't help but think that the alien thing is something that we've put onto this phenomena. It's in the same as craft, like we've made them nuts and bolts machines that even though like a massive like quantum leap in technology, there's still enough there that we can like bring into our own technology. I find that really weird.
You were saying that today, Lee, what the Uber Way is saying there. If Dodie says it's real, it's definitely fake. You didn't say that, but you just said it was odd that Dodie has been mentioned with this piece of footage, because that's a guy that is it once you've fooled people and you're in that sort of position, is it, we can forgive everything and yes, we can trust this guy again? I don't think you can ever trust that guy again.
Yeah. See, this is what I find weird is like is like UFOs or drones. That's fine. Like the Tic Tac might be a drone. The Tic Tac might not even be a real thing. It might just be more disinformation that's being put to us. But were UFOs drones like 100 years ago when things were being reported? Was it a drone that Columbus saw? It makes no sense that UFOs are man-made technology, or at least all UFOs are man-made technology, when you take into consideration the history, and like we're literally only at the point now, like we were talking about UFOs even in our lifetime, like as soon as I can remember looking on the internet, I can remember looking for alien stuff, and like we had no capabilities of doing this sort of stuff back then. You know, we're only just arriving in the realm of possibilities where we could make something that could possibly fool us into thinking that it was one of these things. But I just don't buy the idea that it's all human made.
I'll tell you something though, and I said this about the Malaysian MH370 footage on Friday's show. I believe that piece of footage, because I found the original source that put that out has done nothing since that.
Yeah,
his YouTube channel has ceased to exist. A bit like Ivan 0135, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
he's still there, but the channel did nothing other than essentially its job to put those pieces of footage out. Then you've got this Malaysian flight that disappears with the 3 UFOs. The guys on Twitter, he first tweeted it out along with the link in May of 2014. March was when the plane went missing, and then the channel stopped doing tweets in July. So
what you're saying? He was silenced?
No, I'm not. I'm
But he went underground.
I'm actually saying that what if these little pieces of footage are somebody doing their job? What if this alien interview where it's covering that is somebody doing their job, and it's not just a little money-making hoax? It's a little bit deeper than that. It's there for a reason. It's there so that we look in a different direction.
What did they say captured that footage? Because it's too it's not a satellite. It's not like from a satellite from above. It's at an angle. So was it another?
I think they did say it was a satellite. I'm sure they said it was satellite, Stu. Yeah, it was a bit of an angle. But
I would that just sort of, my alarm bells, my bullshit alarm goes off big time if they
a lot
said.
of alarm bells go for me with that, Stu. This fucking detailed though. That thing is detailed to hell. I mean, even when you look at the actual the vapors that the plane produces, the contrails, you can the actual color of them it kind of matches.
It's inconsistent, and which is what you would expect the like temperature of contrails to be.
The thermals are all wrong as well, though. Like the thermal would be black or white. It would.
I thought the thermal would be redder. Yeah, you know, when you see because I pulled up on Friday's show a thermal of a plane from a civilian thermal camera.
Yeah.
The thing is with that,
I wish we had Dave on for this actually, because he was absolutely adamant that was military thermal. Absolutely.
Without saying what he's got, we saw some of the stuff. We looked through some of the stuff.
Yeah, if you're assuming that it's handheld, then I would agree with Dave. But if it's on a pod and strapped to some kind of aircraft or even a satellite or whatever, it's more likely to be the FLIR version, which is going to be black is hot or white is hot, and then the reverse of that is cold, because of the nature of the way that it captures the information. Doing a color thermal wouldn't be necessarily the right, thing that it would do.
Well, I mean, and obviously we've gone slightly off from the alien thing here. But what I would say is the interesting thing to me, which is I think the most chilling thing about that video. So if we just for a split second go right, we will like disband disband. I can't say that word. Disbelief, and say right that is MH370. Three things are flying around about. Gets fucking zapped. The worrying thing there is because there's two different videos, isn't there? There's one which is satellite footage and one which is thermal footage. So to me, that would suggest that something had been sent to observe what was going on with MH370.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like at any one time in that part of the world, there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of planes in the air.
Hmm.
You know, you've only got to look at flight radar on any particular day over Europe, and there's literally thousands of planes buzzing about. Same with the continental United States. So the fact that something was keeping tabs on a particular flight is really fucking weird.
That's
You know?
It's, I mean, well, there's two things that could have happened there. Either we're not being told the truth, and MH370 was contacted by something, and then they scrambled something to go and check it out, which observed what happened, or they knew what was going to happen to it.
I think it would be the third thing, if anything, because if you follow back the timeline of what happened with MH370, they lost contact with it and they were very much in the dark. And it was a while after that that they then put up rescue planes and
Yeah.
Hawkeyes and different things to scan the area and try and pick up the craft. So I would think it would be the
If
third
that
thing.
is actually the truth of the story, you know, it's. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. I think it's for me anyway. You take all of this stuff out because I was quite interested in the MH370 thing from the word go. That lump of plane that they found, which they were like, "Yep, found it." That was 100% a cover story. I do not believe that was part of that plane at all.
No.
So that's the other thing that lends more credence to this for me is because it looks like there is 100% fuckery happened with that
Can I
plane.
just say something about what is supposedly the satellite footage on the right?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like satellite footage. That looks as if it's from the ground. And the reason I'm saying that is look at the color of the clouds. The clouds would be pure white across the board. You wouldn't see the underside of them because the satellite's above looking down, so the clouds are going to get hit by the sun. There's not going to be that dark shadow going on.
Mm.
So to me, that's actually been filmed from lower than anything else. As I say, the thermal looks off on the other one, but that is not to say that it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't add up what they're saying it might be.
And also like going back to why I brought that piece of footage up with this alien interview is the accounts. I've said this before. It's the accounts I find interesting. These accounts that usually, you know, you've got the next secure team, third phase, Miss MH, whatever his name is, and like a channel that can with good UFO footage will go shit. You know, I need to carry on with this, or if they're faking it, I'll make some more fakes because that's going to bring in some money. But there's nothing more. So then that says to me, if it is a fake, then it's elites that want us to see this fake.
Thank you very much for that, Jay. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Scallop.
So you're a gentleman and a scallop, and you 100% deserve that thing.
Thank you, Jay. 707. Appreciate that.
I was going to say something, then I got caught off by I got caught out by the super chat.
Is John still in? John, if you're still in the chat, do we? I know you said that who actually got the video in the first place, and how did they get it? Because that's a little bit hazy for me. I mean, I get it when channels put stuff out, but this was before YouTube. You know, this was so. Essentially, it's a film production company that made this. How much money did they make? If they made it, how much money did they make of it?
Yeah, just quickly, why did the alien interview even talk? Why did it have a voice? No abductees of anyone beforehand have reported talking. They didn't talk. It was, if John's in the chat, he can fill me in on what the actual phrase was for it, but it was like mind communication or something like that. Essentially, some like a type of telepathy, but they had a different name for it. So there was no talking in the alien interview. Also, the other thing I found interesting was the heart monitor. If you go back to watch that video, the heart monitor goes up, and supposedly that was a specialized tool which had to be made because these creatures have a single organ, which is the lung and the heart. So it's
a single chamber heart or something as well.
Yeah, single sac organ.
Yeah.
Which would say that they've opened one of them up before. How did they get that knowledge?
Hey, we've got no other videos. We're gonna have to make new videos for repeat donators.
Cheers, Jay. Oh, what a lad! What a lad!
Yeah, but
it's never too old for a grey thumb up, though.
No, it's never too old for the grey thumb up. I have a thing with people that call all these things fake. I mean, you're talking like 97. Would have been prime X-Files, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So
X-Files came out 94, so that would have been about the third or fourth season.
Yeah, it would have absolutely been swinging at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
So you talk. I'm probably wrong about this, but I'm gonna guess that the X-Files would have probably been at that point probably the most expensive show in the world. You know, it would have been right up there for per episode
TV series.
Yeah, per episode.
In terms of like what it cost to make it.
Yeah, what it cost to make.
Believe it or not, it was done on the cheap because I actually know one of the SFX guys.
What, the whole thing?
Eric from Blackpool Studios. They don't get me wrong, they were all paid well, but they weren't paid like. Whereas like take the Big Bang Theory, the last season of the Big Bang Theory, I think like the guy that plays Sheldon was on $1 million an episode or something.
Yeah, same with Friends. I think Friends hit like 5 million a episode, didn't they? For the last
Jesus.
Yeah, for the last. But with X-Files, it was well below 500,000. The pair of them were on at that time.
Let's find out. Let's find out how much the seasons cost.
I think Mulder was paid more than Scully.
Yeah, because she cracked up about that years later, didn't she? There was a big sort of to do about that.
Yeah, I mean, rightly so. Though I mean, it's not that one of them in the TV show is more famous than the other. It's just like one's male.
For 1.5 million per episode.
So even for the 90s, that's cheap.
Yeah, for the first five series, then it went up to something else, but that doesn't really matter at the minute. But what I'm trying to say is that this, let's suppose that this is faked, that someone's gone out there, they've done a practical effect, they've got it set nicely so you can't, it's dark enough that you can't see any of the errors, but lit enough so you can see what it is, and they've done a really fucking good job, because you could stick that in the X-Files, you could stick that in Independence Day for in a scene, and you could get away with having that. I think in
I think you could get away with it now.
Yeah, probably. But what I'm saying is that everyone that says it's fake doesn't take into account that this guy's clearly done something, which is, it, if not fooled people, made it very difficult to prove fraud for nothing. And everybody that says that's fake couldn't do that. Every single person. And the thing is, if it was that easy, to fake stuff, Third Phase of Moon will have loads of it. They would have loads of alien interviews. They would have like 60 minutes with one.
Here's the thing about the special effects community back in the 90s, and this is just of reading books and watching documentaries about Industrial Light and Magic and the other companies that were about very small community. There's only you got Rick Baker, you've got the guys at ILM, you've got Stan Winston Studios, Digital Domain was starting to float about. In terms of miniatures and like special effects, like they all knew each other or know each other. So whoever, if that's faked, then, and Henson Studios as well, obviously the Muppets and that, like they're going to know who did it. So there's, if it has been faked, then it's a well kept secret because these guys usually divulge everything to each other. So then you've got to think to yourself, well, it has an outside organization, because obviously there's other countries that do special effects. Russia are very good at it for their film industry. The Hungarians are very good at it. The Indians are very good at it. Hong Kong, China, Japan, the list goes on. So did they get Japanese special effects guys that usually would do Godzilla, stuff? Did they get them across to do it? Because there would be a language barrier. And obviously once they go back to Japan, you know what I mean? Like, it would be very difficult to do something like that and keep it a secret. To keep that in mind.
Yeah. See, this is the thing that gets me with, even back to the alien autopsy as well. Supposedly the guy that used to work for the BBC doing Doctor Who made that. And so you're telling me that a guy that works for the BBC, probably, on the grand scheme of things, on the grand scheme of special effects artists, not getting paid like incredibly well, you wouldn't have thought. And yet he supposedly faked something that had the guys at Industrial Light and Magic saying, "We give this guy a job tomorrow." And he didn't immediately come out and go, "Yep, that was me. That was me. Where do I sign that check, please? I'll come to California."
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Look at there was the guy a few years ago who was doing the deep fake stuff. Like they did the partial deep fake of Luke Skywalker for The Mandalorian. And then this young lad came along and went and did it way better. ILM snapped him up in a heartbeat, and that's why when it came to the book of Boba Fett and seeing Luke Skywalker again, it was much improved because basically they got this young lad, paid him an absolute fortune, and basically got him doing that and solely that and nothing else. And that's why it looks so good on the screen. They'll snap up talent in a heartbeat, especially something like ILM.
Yeah. We just got an email then, Ollie, and I'm not going to say the person's name because he's done it anonymously. So I'll just say Mr. A has just sent us 10 British pounds on Patreon, saying a contribution to Ollie's background lighting.
Yeah, come on, lad. You could get into B&M, get a couple of these lovely ring lights that I've got behind me. 10 quid each.
Oh, I appreciate that, my friend. I didn't think it was that bad tonight. It's always bad, isn't it? It's always fucking bad.
It is. Yeah, I just wonder how many of these things. See, this is what I don't get. Like Philip Blair, you probably want to change that profile picture now of the old Dalai Lama, the tongue sucking motherfucker. Autopsy
that
was
was so weird.
as believable as a woman giving birth to Bat Boy for me personally. I don't get how people can see that and go instantly, right? That's because you can't. I don't think you can see enough of it, to 100% go. And I think it's one of the best aging, like evidences that we've got. Even though it's been said it's fake, which I still question.
I think the best is the alien autopsy. I do. For me, that is the best one. The actual. Now, I get people's skepticism. I'm skeptic as I think everything's fake.
Well,
I think everything, but I think it's elites doing it for a reason.
Like the Urban Way just said, Lee wants so hard to believe. No, it's not that. I just know that to disbelieve everything is just as dangerous as believing everything. If you don't because what's going to happen here is, right, I don't know what's going on with alien disclosure or what is going on with Congress and stuff like that. I don't know how much of that to trust. I know I don't trust any form of government whatsoever. But we are going to get, at some point, we are going to get high definition photographs of something. I 100% believe that we are going to get something that is crisp, high definition photographs. Now, are you still going to believe? Are you just going to disbelieve that, or are you going to believe that because that's coming from the government? If you're just going to believe that because it's coming from the government, then I think you're the crazy one if that's what it takes. But the thing is, even with this video, if you go back and listen to the Redacted podcast,
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. It is John, isn't it? I forgot. Sorry, my names disappear out of my head.
John, yeah.
It goes on to say that he's been put on a watch list, and he's informed that he's put on a watch list when he was going for freedom of information requests. And I 100%, I 100% believe him when he says he finds it strange that he would be put on a watch list for investigating a fake film. That's weird.
That is odd. Am I on mute?
No, you're not.
No, that's odd.
We'll be in a sec. Hold on.
Here's the thing, and I know I say that a lot. So do you, Lee, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We both say it far too much. But here is the thing. Skinny Bob, alien autopsy, this alien interview. Give me is there more? Is there any more that are like kind of believable alien wise?
Can't think of any.
Those three kind of stand out.
Yeah, see, this is the other side of ufology for me. Scandrol? Yeah, maybe. We already have crisp photos, etc. Just no one cares to believe it. I don't think we do. I don't think there's a single good photograph of a UFO.
Not a crisp one, no.
No.
That shows all the detail.
The best photograph of a UFO is the Calvine UFO, in my opinion.
And Stu's seen all 5 of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But even at that, I mean, I have my doubts that was a UFO now. I think, old Prof. Simon has got that kind of laid to rights in terms of it was some kind of balloon or whatever to test stealth technology.
Maybe, yeah. I would believe that more than I believe the silly debunkings of it being like a reflection of a rock on a lake.
Yeah.
They
ID'd the jets, and they were Harrier jets belonging to British Aerospace, or what is now BEE.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were privately owned, demilitarized jets that were.
For anybody in the chat that hasn't seen where we first met Stu, Stu came on the channel because he'd seen the rest of the photographs when you were young. Was
When
it
I was just a young nipper.
apprentice photographer were you or something?
Yeah, I was a junior photographer at that point, but I was I worked for the Glasgow Herald, but it was the Daily Record that I was actually in, and sort of
And you
for another.
saw that Harrier, whatever it is, move
Yeah,
in the photo, didn't you?
in way more detail than what you guys see. But it's just I'm quite confident that what Prof. Simon says about it is probably true. I think that
A big giant balloon.
basically a big giant balloon, and they were testing, paint jobs effectively for stealth fighters, and it all kind of adds up timeline wise for that kind of fifth generation fighter stuff. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Vincent Ross show. Did you post that whatever in the chat? I'd like a little look at that while we're doing the show.
Or email it.
Or email it to Alien Addict UK.
Campbell's put Ryan Graves released some UFO pictures from the pilots on his Twitter yesterday.
Oh, really?
Not great HD definition, I'm afraid. Yeah, because they've been shot with an iPhone. But this is the thing. I mean, I was actually I live next door to an airport, Prestwick Airport, and
hang on, gentlemen. I'd just like you all to answer this and then carry on, Stu.
Sure.
Oops, not that one. What do you all think? You guys think of Billy Meyer?
Bollocks! It's a whole video telling you how much I love Billy Meyer.
Yeah. To the point that only the other day, what was the guy's name? The nutcase that came on. That
Michael Horn.
Michael
yeah.
I like looked at my our emails like halfway through the day to see that you'd had like a full-on battle with him.
Love it.
Oh, it's
anyway. Get back to what I was saying. Like, we have got loads of like plane spotters. The guys that go out and they now do a lot of video of the planes comings and goings, but they do stills and that as well. The level of detail these guys can get in these shots is fucking phenomenal. And then you get the guys that are on the Mac loop down in Wales who watch the F-22s and the F-35 Lightnings and whatever else, F-16s and Typhoons and that flying by. I mean, these things are going, Mach 1, Mach 1.5, Mach 2, and they're capturing beautiful detail. So there's camera gear out there and technology out there, what I'm saying is, that can capture things that move fast in pretty damn good detail.
We're just not getting it.
What do I think of Councillor Billy Buchanan? I don't know about Billy Buchanan. Don't know who that is. I don't follow British politics. No, you need to explain yourself on that one.
I don't know who that is.
I know there's a Billy Buchanan over here that was part of a decorating company, but he is dead.
When I said about the three, so Skinny Bob, the Area 51 alien interview, and what's the other one?
The
autopsy.
And the alien autopsy itself.
Was there not another interview that?
There's also
that's the one that's been heavily debunked though.
That was like full CGI, wasn't it?
Yeah, that you can tell that's CGI though. That's not aged well though. That at the time looked phenomenal, but if you watch that, I watched that yesterday.
He's the Bonnybridge councillor, right? Well, I know Bonnybridge is very famous in Scotland for UFO sightings, so I take it Billy Buchanan must be sort of banging the drum for UFO disclosure in Scotland then, or whatever. Need to look into that. But yeah, I mean, supposedly Bonnybridge is like the place to go and spot UFOs in Scotland. I know that, but interesting.
Yeah. Oops.
I think we're both trying to get rid of that there.
Ah. He said, why doesn't Ryan Graves just tell exactly what he knows? If they charge him with revealing classified information, then he would prove everything is true. They can't charge him if the information I take you meant to say is correct at the end. I would like everybody to, and like, first of all, I think there's some really fucking fishy about disclosure. So this is not me championing what's going on. But I'd like everybody to go and Google, maybe after the show, not right now, unless you want to do it in another window, history of whistleblowers. And let's see how it works out for people that are whistleblowers, because I'm pretty sure it's not great. Like the history of people coming out and trying to speak truth to power has not worked out well.
You end up jumping out a window, don't you?
Or being shot twice in the back of the head whilst hanging yourself.
Yeah.
Or drowning with your entire family in 8 inches of pool water, or being a chef that drowns in a pool as well after posting multiple videos on your TikTok, on your Instagram of you working out, which part of your workout routine is swimming, and you're a pretty fucking good swimmer too. Weird.
It's always weird when you drowned in your own pool.
Well, technically, he didn't drown in his own pool. He drowned in Barack Obama's pool.
Oh.
Get the feeling he pictures himself like an Edward Snowden. Are we talking about Grush here or Julian Assange? Assange is fucking and Cloud Cuckoo. As for Edward Snowden, I mean, there's a whistleblower that's so far managed to survive.
Yeah,
all right. He had to bail out to Moscow and give up everything.
And Julian Assange has essentially been tortured until he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's totally lost the plot.
Wild. Yeah.
Where is he at the moment? Is he back in the US or is he still in Belmarsh?
No, he's still in Belmarsh, still in solitary confinement, as far as I know. So that's been, I mean, realistically, he was in solitary when he was in Ecuador, when he was in the Ecuadorian embassy as well. So he has spent pretty much, a decade alone?
Yeah. Belmarsh is the one that's in the Isle of Wight, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I've seen that. That is a scary looking place.
Yeah, well, there's clearly like, and I'm no fan of what's his name, the UKIP guy.
Oh right, yeah, I know you're.
What's his name? I forgot his name.
I know what you mean, yeah.
I know his real name is Yaxi Lennon, but what's he? Yeah, he goes under the pseudonym, doesn't he? I forgot where it is. Fuck! Someone tell me that in the chat. Yeah. Anyway, when his bank accounts were shut because he had to leave the UK because of that. But he was arrested for something like it was a bullshit charge he was arrested for, and he was put in Belmarsh as well for so I feel like maybe there's something in that when you find two people which are essentially like, one might be a bit of a prick, but he's still like a political dissident, isn't he? I find it weird that he gets sent there as well, as whereas Assange is in there as well. So maybe there's something, this is maybe there's been some other people that we that weren't quite as famous that got disappeared off there too.
Oh, Belmarsh is the place where they tend to shove terrorists, and
yes,
they used to shove the IRA, like the ones that would get caught over in the UK. They would lock them up in Belmarsh and pretty much forget about them. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't guys who were part of the troubles back in the 80s and 70s and 80s that aren't still in Belmarsh. I don't know what deal was made to release people when Ireland kind of sorted its shit out. I don't know.
Is David Bush on Twitter?
I don't know.
Don't think he is, but I could be wrong.
What's this drama, lads? I don't watch either of their shows. Stephen crying about Griffin Collingwood disabled, and now he's doing the same to Grush as Stephen Cambion.
That is very true. I noticed that the other day.
What's this?
Basically, right. Cambion is forever complaining about the way that Rich treats him, and Rich is being bloody awful to him, and he just, he totally defames him all the time, goes on about his eye disability and all that kind of stuff. But effectively, Stephen has been doing exactly the same thing to Grush because of his PTSD, and also he's gone heavy on Ross Coulthard as well.
Why? What's wrong? What does Ross Coulthard have wrong with him?
Being Australian isn't a disability. It just turns out they find it very difficult to say no to the government. That's all.
Ross, his thing with Ross is, as far as he's concerned, Ross is a complete twat. Everything he does is fake, and he's just got his mind made up that the guy is just full of shit and he's grifting. And I disagree with that because I've looked into his background.
Look, I disagree with that because it's I feel if that's the case, I think you're missing the point. Well, sorry, not you. I think Stephen's missing the point of it. Because there is something going on. You know, it's because he has had to go through channels to say yes, it's okay for you to do this. So, at very least, there's a conspiracy to be had there.
Yeah. Did you see the interview that he did? I think for something in Australia, just the other day. It went up on YouTube, and he was talking about Bob Lazar.
No,
I'll need to send you links to that, guys. I don't want to bring it up just now, but it's quite interesting what he said, because it's a pain in the ass, because it's effectively the conclusion to the Bob Lazar documentary I'm editing just now for you guys. And I'm kind of pissed about it because he's kind of let the cat out the bag, the stuff I've effectively discovered. But the way I'm going to play it now is I've got evidence from another source that I found on the web, thanks to Jeremy, alien scientist. And Ross is talking about another guy again. So, but this is the stuff that if you go and watch Cambion last night, Cambion was slamming him left, right, and center, saying that everything he was saying was just full of shit and it had been debunked. But he wasn't really given, receipts for it.
I can't help but feel, because I try not to watch like too many channels on YouTube, but I can't help but feel, and I do like Stephen Cambion. I think when he's been on, he's been gracious.
I like him as well. I watch his show. Like, if I can't sleep, I'll watch his show at 2 a.m. No problem.
I do feel that there is an element of people being upset that their toys are getting taken away from them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the thing. The thing is, if disclosure happens, this is done. There's no point talking about UFOs anymore. Do you know what I mean? If it's going to be on if Rogan's going to be talking about it and it's going to be on CNN and Fox News and all the other things, then it's not a fringe topic anymore.
Yeah. Also,
unless you believe that there's some sort of like mad conspiracy going on, like I do.
Yeah, but we'll just all become flat earthers then.
Absolutely. Ollie's there.
I'm only on the edge.
Get that firmament
on the
out.
rim. I don't think David Grush is on Twitter. There's loads of parody channels, but there's...
Yeah. I would be surprised if he's on Twitter by the nature of his clearances and stuff, because he's only just out of the military, the Air Force or whatever it was, in April, which is not that long ago. So he'll be not allowed to set anything up for quite a while, would have thought.
Yeah.
Because he'll not be on Facebook or anything like that, or Instagram, because these things are basically...
Other YouTube channels that are alien ones, even some of the higher up ones, watch Alien Addict. So what I would say is, next time you interview Tim Birdshit, ask him what he makes, because he's been sent this alien interview. But I've never heard him talk about it.
Has Dave not met him? Dave met him. Yeah, he met him at a function about a month or so ago.
Wouldn't surprise me, Stu.
We need to have a word with Dave when he gets back off holiday, or vacation, as he would call it. He was in the chat earlier on, but I think he's away on a roller coaster now.
Yeah, he's playing. He's chilling.
Quite right.
Yeah. I do find it interesting though if these old videos are being like passed around to people as genuine now, right? Regardless of their like validity.
Mm-hmm. Why they're making the rounds again?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't get. I don't want it to be disparaging towards Jon Stewart's work that he's clearly put in to try and get this out again. You know, it's and the research he's put in. So, and I look forward. I don't know when that documentary's coming out. Is it actually out?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
No,
It's the Victor thing.
Yeah. I look forward to watching it.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder whether right. I don't believe as such in this current disclosure model. I don't know whether it's a handy cover that they can keep pulling the towel off whenever there's like potential indictments of sitting presidents. I don't know whether it's something that could be pulled off the cover when like there's potential cocaine from sitting presidents' sons found in the White House, or obvious money laundering that's been going on for years to countries where now like trillions of dollars are being sent. I also wonder if there's more to it than just a distraction, and like the covers are getting pulled off things like this now. Does that mean that what we're going through now has been a plan that's been so microscopically worked out that the breadcrumbs of this were laid in 1997? That when that video was published in 1997, it was because they knew in 2024 we were going to be going through this and they would need that footage again.
I don't think they're smart enough for that.
I don't know. I've no idea.
It's a theory, though.
It's a very interesting theory because it then comes into the whole, does somebody know what the future is going to be?
Oh, when do humans play the long game?
Humans never play the long game. That's the thing.
Well, no, the thing is, what we've been conditioned to think that the most powerful people in the world are stupid. And the reason I think we've been conditioned to think the most powerful people and that governments are incompetent is because the people that are actually powerful and that are actually running the things behind, the people that buy and sell presidents, the people that move people in and out of power and like cause like problematic countries to be overthrown, they're hyper intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Biden got in power for a reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I probably you probably can't even go into this. There's too much now, but I am 100% convinced of voter fraud now. I'm 100% convinced. I wasn't before. I thought it was fucking nonsense, but I don't hold that view anymore. But the thing is, the important thing with what I'm trying to say is I think there are people that, like I say, working for the likes of BlackRock and Vanguard that have the money of countries, like we've discussed on the show before, that are run by people like, and a small amount of people as well, really, when you consider like the rest of the world. And they're really intelligent, and they do plan things out. And we all you need to do is look a little bit at secret societies and the conspiracies around let's just I mean, you can use fucking tired phrases like the Illuminati and the New World Order and all that sort of stuff, but bloodlines seem to be very important to these people. So it's that point when the bloodline is so important to people, then I can understand more that maybe they work outside of lifespans. like work in generations.
If Lockheed Martin or Boeing have extraterrestrial craft or biologics both stored on one of their facilities, the government has no authority or jurisdiction to search it like they do the Air Force. That, I'm afraid, is probably incorrect because of the nature of
National
the
security.
contracts and national security. They
Yeah.
can probably go through those places with a fine tooth comb if they really wanted to.
I'm fairly sure they could just come in your house and take your phone. Unpredictable abuse. So
Yeah.
I think if you had a spaceship, they could probably say, "Look, we want that." But I mean, in actual fact, I think I don't think it's a case of like Lockheed Martin or Boeing having these things and it being unknown to the government. I think they're elements of the government make sure these private companies have these things so there is no congressional oversight on it.
See, I mean, what's interesting to me at the moment is there seems to be a three-way split with what's going on with disclosure. You've
Sorry,
got
we're hanging someone here. We're hanging someone here for no apparent reason. Sorry, apparently that's what Tim Burchett said, not him.
sorry, you've got Tim Burchett's camp, and those wanting disclosure and basically to know what everything is and to release all that information to the public where possible. You've then got the people in the Pentagon who seem to be blocking everything that they are doing at every stage and every turn. That includes Kirkpatrick, who's part of the Arrow, the All Domain Anomaly organization.
But he's denying Grush, isn't he?
Yeah, he's totally against everything that Grush is doing. Then you've got the military industrial complex, which is your BlackRock and all these different companies and whatnot that have ridiculous amounts of resources and money available to them, and they're obviously pulling strings behind um, the scenes as well, because obviously at the end of the day they want to make as much money as humanly possible, and the only way to do that is to basically have wars. So they probably want to have, the next alien battle, but like what Werner von Braun said, or Project Bluebeam or whatever. But like, it's interesting the fact that there's a three-way sort of fight going on, and the likes of the White House are in denial about the whole thing. When you actually look at like when the press ask the press secretary in the White House about it, they just basically defer it to the Pentagon. They're not interested in it. They're more worried about Hunter Biden snorting coke in the White House than they are, UFOs and stuff like that. So it's a weird one.
Do you see in the next few years that we are going to get I know you said, Lee, you think we're going to get crisp footage at some point.
Look,
in
mate,
a moment.
I'll be fucking honest. I think we're in for the full-on fucking blue beam alien invasion experience.
Do you think we're going to get essentially an add-on to one of these interviews, an add-on to something that's already happened? I'm not saying what we're speaking about tonight, the Area 51 alien interview, but
could be. I mean, it could be this
something that just goes.
You might get something along the lines of this, which comes out with some sort of official narrative behind it. Say, look, this was Jeff. He came from Alpha Centauri. He had the flu. We think it was swine flu. He got
he got triples.
Yeah, you could tell he'd been he'd had his ding dongs because he died before the end of the video. It was cardiac arrest. His one sac organ went into cardiac arrest. That's why his eyes are black, because they're little alien blood clots. But yeah, I don't know, but like nothing would surprise me anymore. Like I have the theory. People that come over to the Rockfin, which is live every week, will know better the will know better what my feelings are about this. So I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and say what my theory is, whilst not getting us banned from YouTube. I think that Bluebeam. Sorry, I shouldn't say I think, because if I say that, it means I think it means I think this is going to happen 100%. Let's say I'm 35% in on this.
Can we say 33?
33.33. And the things have happened, right? From buildings being obliterated in the 90s. No, 2000s. And
Just.
yeah, just to things that have gone on, like as far as prepping us for aliens. We've had a lot of alien prep through the media, through films, through television, over the decades. We've just had this weird thing where we had to shut everything down, which we're still not really allowed to talk about, which I think was an experiment in compliance. We have
totally.
Yeah, we have some fairly weird wildfires these days. Right, where the type of ones that leave huge areas, like where actors and politicians have property that nothing happens to. The type that obliterates and melts cars but leaves trees standing. I believe, and I'll put the Tic Tac in this one as well. We have craft that is appearing that can confuse Air Force pilots into thinking it's something exotic. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would think that every single one of those elements would be a good beta test if you wanted to do Project Bluebeam. If you let's say the planes crashing into things that you're still not allowed to talk about on YouTube anymore.
Can we talk about that for a second in relation to the wildfire without mentioning it?
Yeah.
The thing that fascinates me, there's a woman called Dr. Judy Wood. You can Google her or just search her on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she points out in videos how the certain buildings that got destroyed a long while ago, about 22 years ago, effectively dissolve.
Yeah.
So they do. And if you actually look at how some of the lasers that are on warships now work, and also potentially what might have happened in the wildfires, then these things effectively, Judy Wood, Urban Way, that's it. These things can get put on a satellite and fired from space at low Earth orbit, and they've got the reach and the spread to hit and do damage. It might take them a while to cook something, but they can do it. They can do it. The technology's there. So it makes me wonder what the fuck's going on.
Yes. Now
we need to get you on Rockfin, Stu.
Yeah.
I've always said I want to talk about those buildings on Rockfin. Definitely. Yeah. I've got a lot of.
So there's Nick. So that would be a good.
Maybe we could do it this week. We haven't got a Rockfin show planned this week. We could do it this week. See, my thoughts are, if you go with the no plane situation in that, I mean, it's, you could even go for the beta testing of attacking a city with something strange. But if you think of what you'd have to do in order to perform Project Bluebeam, every single element of what's happened since then to now, including because the thing I thought about the pandemic situation was you had all the videos coming out, of which now we know are completely fake. The ones coming out of China. You would need every single one of these elements, including the pre-recorded set pieces, in place to pull off Bluebeam. And it feels like beta testing individual elements for something. And even I was talking to Ollie. I think this was on the Rockfin show where we talked about the thing in Peru. I can't remember whether it was on Alien Addict or Rockfin now.
Yeah, you talking about the aliens in Peru?
Yeah, and
we
same
spoke
with
about that on both channels.
Yeah, so that's apparently supposedly been going on since July. I wonder, especially when you saw the guy without the skull with the face burnt off. I wonder.
You're not allowed to play on YouTube.
Yes, I wonder whether that's been going on in July, because they've been pre-recording set pieces for use in the future, and it's leaked out what's been going on.
Possibly.
Because at some point we the people falling down and the stuff in hospitals that we saw over the last few years. We only have to go off. We only have the word of the media, which is clearly not worth the cheese around my bell end. We only have the word of the media that they were filmed and recorded at that time.
A lovely camembert. Right. That was a good one, Lee. Okay.
So yeah, that's where I am. I think all the individual elements are there ready.
You're right, Ollie.
Stun me.
I'm literally got tears running down my face. Oh dear.
I don't know if you'll be able to make that into a YouTube short.
I'm going to try.
The
1 hour 19 minutes. Gotcha.
So that alien Peru face peeler thing it's been debunked. It was miners with jetpacks.
Yeah, of course it
Like,
was. Yeah. Because you know those things which are so fucking like barely a reality. Like jetpacks are barely a real thing.
You're telling me Richard Browning of Gravity Industries is selling jetpacks to illegal miners?
Oh, fucking hell. It's fucking...
Aliens is more fucking plausible.
It's a busy weekend, Dave. It's a fucking... We've just had another six jetpacks ordered from fucking Enrique. It's not happening.
How is anybody buying that?
Because people are stupid.
Have you seen the price of them?
Yeah, 500 grand each. Between 3 and 500 grand, depending on how much you weigh.
Oh, it's got cheaper. There's a dog. I better let her in a minute.
Yeah.
It's got cheaper because it was $750,000 a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, technology moves on. It's basically they're at the consumer version now.
Hair dryers mounted to your wrists.
Yeah, they got the same pricing from the fucking Apple VR headset model.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
What you're saying there, though, Lee, with the Project Bluebeam, and I think we did say this about the Peru thing. What if that was a test that went on, and it was never meant to make it to? The public was never meant to hear that.
Mm-hmm. The Peru thing. That's what I believe. I don't believe we were supposed to hear it, and I think that might be why it's just been so quickly put to bed, because I still think they might end up using parts of it in the future. Dave has just
said, off the roller coaster.
Yeah, everybody smash that like button. We have 87 people in the chat and we have 13 likes at the minute. You guys are shit. So if you could please do the thumbs up, because Dave isn't here, which means he might be outside your house. So just hit the like button. But yeah,
If Dave ever turned up to my door, I actually wouldn't be surprised. It just was said, I just thought it was in the neighborhood. I wouldn't even be shocked.
No.
It wouldn't shock me.
It's Dave. We have one confirmed person that is safe from your wrath. But yeah, the Peru thing I still think is fucking fascinating, and that video is so creepy of the guy with no face. And I think that's a real body. I think that's real. That's the same thing as the guy with the alien interview research being put on a watch list. If that wasn't real, then why would YouTube stop you showing it?
I think your browser needs to catch up, Lee. It's 46 likes at the minute.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll give it a refresh.
Still low. We need 83.
Yeah, we've got well good. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, ooh, there we go. Yeah.
Because if you lot that are watching this are a little bit like us and you're thinking, well, everybody's just debunking stuff these days. That's all they ever do. Or there's a war going on with another YouTube channel, and you just want to have a little break from that. Well, you're in the right place. You are in the right place, my son.
This is, I think, one of my greatest achievements is that I have de-dramaed the drama farmer.
You have.
Lee's got his cheese board out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like a little bit of the old drama.
To be fair,
we haven't had some decent drama in a while, actually.
No. I did ask what was going on with Cambion and Grush, I suppose, so, or what thing. So yeah, maybe I farmed the drama for this episode. But yeah, I mean, Philip Blair turned around and said, what do they do with the faces as far as the face peeling goes on? I've
settles into Game of Thrones.
Could be. I said, I think on the Rockfin about this, that maybe the whatever happens, if the face peelers is a real thing. I mean, well, isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that we're now in a situation where we're talking about alien peeling creatures, alien face peeling creatures, in some sort of fucking realistic setting? Like we live in a sci-fi movie now. I'm convinced of it.
A friend of mine gave me a theory on that though the other day. Like to actually put a little bit of a debunk there is just say this guy was killed near the river.
It's absolute nonsense. I saw the fish thing. Absolute nonsense. That was clean
piranhas.
Yeah.
No. Fell just face in the river.
Yeah.
And over time, his face got.
But he'd clearly been there for a number of hours though. Like his body was still.
It didn't look.
No, but like the central part of his body was still had color to it. You could see the color draining from his hands and feet. It doesn't. None of that makes sense. None of it.
If he'd been in like underwater for any length of time, his body would have been bloated and filled with gases and all sorts of nasty stuff.
I don't know. Also, you're in the middle of the Amazon there as well, so I don't know what other predators you'd have around, like water predators. So if
there's quite a few. There's nastier things than piranhas.
Yeah,
in these
so
rivers.
I don't see why you wouldn't have found something that would have just gone like easy meal, thank you. But sorry, my thought about the face peeling was, what if the peeling of the face wasn't the mission? It was just happened to be a byproduct of what else was going on. Do you know what I mean?
Elaborate on that.
Well, like the we're looking at like the face peeling as if that's the whole reason behind why this thing killed this guy, was to peel his face off. What if it was? What if there was something else behind it?
What, to send a message like the cartels do? Like
or maybe they fucking eat eyes. Do you know what I mean? Or eat brains, something like that. You know, it's like
they use them as a disguise.
Well, then he missed half of it, so he's fucked that one. But I just wondered whether that was the result of something else rather than the actual like that.
Dave put the face peel was a trophy. Was the trophy? So we're
Maybe.
talking
I mean, we're in,
Predator stuff there.
yeah, maybe. I mean, it's fucking like genuinely. We all want a bit of alien disclosure. We all want some aliens just to spice the world up a little bit. Can we not have the face peeling ones?
Yeah, you don't want them ones.
Because like we have gone from fucking Mac and Me to Predator really fucking quickly here, and I don't like it.
Mac and Me always freaks me out a little bit though.
Mac and Me was purely designed to sell. Was it Pepsi or Dr Pepper, something like that? Cherry Coke.
It was
Oh, was it?
McDonald's.
Was it?
It was McDonald's.
I knew it was designed to sell something.
It was basically it was
the
paid
Big Mac.
Yeah, it was basically paid for by McDonald's.
But was it Cherry Coke? It did drink Cherry
something
Coke.
like
didn't it? Yeah.
Something like that. Oh god, that's a horrible movie. Stick to Flight of the Navigator, folks. It's
Yeah.
far more.
I remember nearly giving somebody a stroke one time when I referred to E.T. when he was in the bathroom bit. As you remember that bit of in E.T. when he turned into a salami.
Love it.
Yes, he does.
A nice welly salami.
If you just saw through that neck.
Oh wait, yeah, it would have been marbled inside. Would have been marbled. Would have been just chewy enough. Would have been great. That's how they could have got away with it when NASA turned up. If they'd have just hung him upside down in the kitchen.
God, there's a movie I haven't watched in many a year.
That's the first movie I can remember seeing at the cinema.
Was it?
For
first
me,
film
it was
I remember.
The Cat from Outer Space. Disney classic.
First film I think I might have seen a Disney film before this, but the first film I remember going to see was Ghostbusters 2. And it was before they really sorted out the fucking age restriction law.
Now I feel old.
Yeah, but it was before they set out the like the proper age restriction laws. And the trailer for Ghostbusters 2, when I was sat there as an expectant child, was Child's Play.
Nice.
They did stuff like that back then.
Those were the days when you went to the cinema and you had to watch the movie through a haze of cigarette smoke.
Do you know? Right, I don't miss having to wash my clothes and coming home with a sore throat as a non-smoker.
Oh, neither do I.
But I do miss the atmosphere that it created.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what smoke machines are for, though.
Maybe. Yeah.
I hope we can get John on.
I would like to get him on, and to be perfectly honest, if he comes back and if he's still listening or he has listened to any of that, that's why I didn't mind us drifting off the topic of this.
Yeah, because I think we could definitely do this again with John and pick his brains. Especially since he's been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah,
we'll email him.
Yeah, I'll be dead honest as well. With someone that's put so much work into this, I don't want to be disparaging to it, or say something stupid when the answers to what I would say stupid are so close.
I'll drink to that. I'll drink to anything.
Philip Blair put Mac and Me. What's that? Best not to know.
Yeah, it's the not ET. That's what it is. It's just not ET.
It's the Wish version of ET.
Was Flight of the Navigator Steven Spielberg?
No, it was Bob Zemeckis, was it not?
Was it? Had all the hallmarks of a Spielberg, didn't it?
It probably was produced by them or something. I don't know.
That craft hasn't aged
at all.
If you go and watch Captain Disillusion,
the effects have, but I mean the design is fucking phenomenal.
I'm going to show you something, Ollie, and I can't say.
Three different people designed that craft. It was sculpted originally by 3 different people. A maquette was made, and then it was molded. and they made 2 life-size ones. One was controlled by a crane, the other one was on like a wire. They could just have it dangling from a ceiling or whatever, because you can actually see the wire drifting down behind it in some of the shots.
I think it was unreal.
Yeah, I've got something to show you, Ollie. Hang on. You're not
No.
going to enjoy it. You really
Now,
not.
if you want to watch Captain Disillusion, he does, I think, a 2-parter all about it.
Present.
Disney did the Flight of the Navigator, according to.
Check them steps out, Ollie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm well aware of the steps.
If you know, you know. Definitely a Rockfin show.
Yeah, those steps are
interesting.
Those steps are modeled, like they're not CGI. They were done.
Are you aware of the significance of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly
Just
what that
making
is.
sure.
Yeah, no, you're right. I know.
Yeah.
I think even Captain D drops a kind of hint towards it. And then we've got the late Paul Rubens, who played the alien or the avatar, the AI thing in this ship. He passed away.
I don't know what's that about.
Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. He just died. The actor died.
Oh, was he the robot?
He was the voice of like the swinging.
Yeah,
that one.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That was no Ollie's Pee Wee Herman laugh.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're practicing it, mate.
That's weird, but the Flight Navigator,
and it was Sarah Jessica Parker's first ever movie.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah, she played the young girl in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
makes me want to go and watch it again tonight. It's on Prime for free for those of you who got Prime.
I remember thinking it was boring, if I'm honest.
What, Flight the Navigator?
Yeah.
What, when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I just remember you on the plane. When I said, "What's the dinosaur for?" You like,
that was shit. That was.
It's great.
What was the in-house movie on the plane? You must have had a choice.
Loads.
Oh yeah, it was good. I watched the thingy in the cabin, whatever it was, the M. Shyamalan one.
That was good.
Fucking great. Loved it.
That was good.
Oh, The Village.
No, his new one.
Oh, his new one, right.
Yeah, it's really good.
Can't remember the name, but that was good. Damn good. Real good.
Yeah.
But the dinosaur one was good. 65 for it. 65 BC. 60 not
BC. 75. Is that the one with Adam Driver?
65 Adam Driver. I thought it was great. Lee hated it.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched that yet.
He fell asleep.
Yeah. It is dull. So essentially we have
we've cracked it.
We've cracked UFOs tonight.
Yeah, so disclosure's done.
Well done, lads.
Tim can retire now.
Yeah. But basically it's it's government sponsored Blue Beam to bring in the New World Order. That's confirmed.
We're back on schedule though this week, aren't we? We're back on schedule Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Yep. Thursday should be.
Yeah, because you were Wednesday for Rockfin last week, weren't you?
Yeah, it's because I had to do something on Thursday. But yeah, Thursday we should Thursday will be Rockfin again this week. I shall probably be absent from Friday, but back Sunday.
I've just actually realised this is the first time you and I have been on the same show for quite a while.
No, it is. That's it. Yeah, because you've been sick and
yeah,
I've
and then you were out quite a few Fridays. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's difficult, like trying to juggle life while being a Z-list influencer.
This is the thing. Life gets in the way of ufology or paranormal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Friday, so the Thursday we've not quite decided yet. We may do the
I think we should definitely do the buildings.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
But I think we need to make sure we're all present for that, so we can have
Yeah.
different.
Was that your
What?
point of view?
Different points of view, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it's in such a short time as well. We are up to 299 subs on Rockfin.
Fuck.
That's done really well.
That's good.
Yeah, the Vince and Ross show just asked, is Rockfin free? It is free. You can. Yeah, the only reason you need to sign up is if you want to talk to us. But yeah, we left it. We left it free. We haven't put it behind. Excuse me, a paywall.
If they sign up, they can talk to us. What's that?
If you can chat, chat in the chat. Obviously, you can't post in the chat, can you? If you haven't.
Oh, he's free to sign up, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free. It's a free thing. You don't have to sign up to the premium thing.
You can watch it for free, but if you do sign up and follow us, it'd be great.
But you get everything. You don't just get Alien Addict. You get all the shows.
Yeah. Well, let's see. That's it. Yeah. If you sign up for premium Rockfin, you get like Eddie Bravo's show. You get Sam Tripoli's stuff. Yeah. It's you get everybody's. You get actually good people as well as us.
Yeah. There's a lot of conspiracy shows on Rockfin.
It's old school YouTube. It's where all of the old my favorite one is Isaac Weishauпт's occult conspiracies and occult symbolism in pop culture. That's it. He's been one of my favorite content creators for years, and I think his stuff's great. And all his premium stuff's on there as well. The link to Rockfin is also in the chat right now. In fact, I might as well put it there again because we're so bad at promotion.
Twinkle. From
Twinkle, you little star.
Oh, God, mate. Well done, mate. Well done. From cows to humans, now the same technology. And I know his little avatar logo thing. I know what that is. That is.
Can you guys hear my dog?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I think that's time to go for a walk. Right, guys. I'll bounce. Let you finish off the show.
No worries, mate.
Cheers, Stu.
I'll see you Thursday and Friday. Okay.
See you later, mate.
Night, folks.
Good night, mate.
Night.
Ross and Joe, the Ross and Vince show said they're going to subscribe to the Rockfin, which will send us to 300.
Yep. That's awesome. That logo that Twinkle has here is the NASA thing that Hidden showed us, where it had that weird shape and it had the waves going through it. Do you remember?
Nope.
You may not have been on for that show. I know what that is, though, Twinkle. Thank you for the super chat. Heather Birdie. Make sure you check out Rockfin. We need you over there, Heather. Yeah, we need all of you. We need all of you on the Rockfin. Because at some point, Alien Addict will get nuked.
Moody Mongols had an idea here. Kind of agree with him. Maybe do after show Rockfin episodes after your full YouTube to get interest up. Maybe 20 or 30 minutes to unleash any dangerous Lee knowledge would be enough.
You mean after the YouTube shows?
I think Friday we could do. Yeah, I think that is doable. I mean, maybe because the Friday is a later show, I think that would be very doable on Sundays. Because we've waffled on here for 20 minutes extra than we needed to. Yeah. We could have quite easily nipped over to Rockfin.
I do an hour on Sunday and do an hour on Rockfin.
We could do that. We could split it. I think that would probably be a good move. This kind of feels like a team meeting on a live stream.
That's why we love you, Heather. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Heather.
Right, are we hitting it?
I think so. Yeah. Again, if you are watching this show, John Stewart, please get back in touch with us. In fact, we'll stalk you as well. So we'll send you a message because I would love to get you on to have a chat about that, because I'm super interested in that in that video. I'm definitely not gonna.
Could do it next Sunday
we could do it next Sunday, but my point is that I think it's let's say it's not going to be a hostile environment coming on to talk about this sort of stuff with us, and I feel it probably is with some other YouTubers. And like I've got no doubt left in me. I just want people to tell me what they think, so I can make my own mind up about it.
Just needs to look at the logo and to know he's right at home here.
What can we do if you want to subscribe to the podcast? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please become a channel member. We have a patron in the description. You can come and join the patron. That would help us out. I didn't know people could donate through PayPal.
Neither did I, Lee.
So is our PayPal email address alienaddict.co.uk?
I didn't know I had a PayPal.
What?
I think it was to Pioneer.
No, it was to PayPal.
Oh, was it?
Oh no, it must be because I got the email for it. So, oh my god, this is awful. I thought you'd just be able to answer me.
I wish I knew.
We'll sort it out. Yeah, I think there's one there somewhere. But anyway, you can come and do the Patreon. You can become a channel member. You can just like the podcast. We are now at what are we on for likes?
Let's have a look. Let's have a nosy. 60 likes nearly. 59.
60 likes. There is still 74 people in there, so that means 14 of you people aren't pulling your weight. So get the thumbs up stroke, share it, do all that stuff, because it helps us.
It helps us. It'll stop Lee from being a decorator. It'll stop me from being a bum. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Look at you. Like the people like you can help people like us. I'd help you. I'd help them.
I'd help anybody. And a thumbs up is free.
I saw that just before we went on air. Actually, that Russia's thing crashed on the moon, didn't it?
Say what?
Russia sent something to the moon. It crashed into the moon.
Oh, we have to do another show on this.
I don't know if there's anything interesting for us there, but it's
filler.
Yeah, it feels like everything that goes on has a point at the moment. It's probably the only place Edward Snowden feels safe now. They just shipped him out there.
Yeah, I'd like to get that guy on. Shall I hit it?
I would do.
should have said, because I've just realised why that thing is fake.
Why?
It's got no nipples.
Single chromosome sex as well, apparently, or something like that. Yeah, I remember something else now from the show. Probably should have took notes, shouldn't I? The one thing I did notice about it, they've got little tiny mouths. Maybe
Yeah.
they come to Earth in search of blowjobs.